What up, Scrapyard? I'm back with another 4K commentary video where I will hopefully be teaching you guys how to drop a 4K. I don't do this so I can hear myself talk, although I love the sound of my voice. I do this because I hope that at least one person will learn something, and if one person can learn something, that is all that matters to me. Again, excuse my little lisp that I have my Invisalign in right now. I'm on my last week of treatment, so I'm almost done with it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy and I hope you guys learn something. Without further ado, let's get it. Bam ba bam bam bam. Bam ba bam 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 ba 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 bam bam ba bam bam. Welcome back. As always, you guys know where I land. I landed at the same few POIs on every single map. I think it's better that way because you can master an area. If you're landing a different place every single game, you can't master. It's going to be really hard to do that. So this is why I land at the same few POIs. So when I land at this building, I'm always keeping my head on a swivel. And you'll notice that I always play by the zip lines. Very rarely do I enter the room. If you're going to land at this building, you must play the zip lines because it provides an easy escape route. And most of the time when I stand by the zip lines, I'm facing within the room. I'm never facing the zip line. Because if somebody drops down on my zip line side, I can hear that and therefore don't need to look at that place. I'd rather look within the rest of the room and look for any potential threats. And in a hectic place like this, it's pretty much just going up floor to floor like I just did right there, looking for enemies and looking for loot. And then of course, once I get my ultimate, I throw it down and then I loot. That's the perk about having Loba in a highly contested place like this. While everybody else struggles with loot, give me about 45 seconds and I'm in there like swimwear. As I always mention, the key to dropping your first 4K game is to play aggressively, waste little time on looting, and to shoot any and everybody in your path, especially people that are knocked. Obviously, most of the time, I don't have the greatest loot when I land at a place like this. But if you're trying to drop your first 4K game, you gotta pick up whatever you can get and keep fighting. A lot of people that play this game will loot and loot and loot until they're comfortable with what they have. It's very difficult to drop high damage, high kill games doing that because you just waste a lot of time. Of course, there will always be times when you need to loot, but do it quickly. Because every second that you waste on looting is a second that you waste on fighting. You're going to notice my teammate do a whole lot of nothing in this game. And I'm sure that a lot of you guys that have never dropped a 4K can relate to that. If you're trying to drop a 4K damage game, you have to do what you can do to survive. I know you guys want to be good teammates and there's nothing wrong with that. And there's still opportunities for you to be a good teammate when you're dropping a 4K game. But if 4,000 damage is on your priority list, your #1 priority list, you're going to have to make some transitions. Because at the end of the day, you can only control what you do, not what your teammate does. So I had two people ate me and I cracked both of them and I got that first knock. I am not healthy enough to fight that Valkyrie, at least I'm not comfortable with the weapons that I have. So I fall back and heal up so I can re-engage. Remember, always disengage to re-engage if you need to. Excuse me, it was actually an Ashe. I got confused because there's this stupid gnat flying around. I thought it was on that Watson team. Either way, I do notice that though, the Ashe teleports her teammate out so she can revive. Now that I'm full health, I re-engage with this flying gnat. The best and safest 1v1 that I could take, so of course I do so. And obviously she gets absolutely decimated. GG's to Billy. You have to hear things that are going on around you while you're in the middle of a fight. So after I kill this Valkyrie, I remember that the Ashe TP'd out, so now I'm looking for them. As I'm falling down the building, I realize that she never revived the Watson. So again, I'm in a 1v1, I'm taking it. You guys hear me talk about movement all the time and how it's not that important. And that's true, but there are also times where you're gonna have to move. Flashy movement or not, it's good to get used to movement like this. Start learning how to wall bounce, super glide, tap strafe if you're on PC. Anything that makes you harder to hit and allows you to survive a little longer. So again, even when I'm in the fight, I hear another team pushing me right now. Like I told you, when I'm in this building, you have to play the zip line. So as soon as I climb back into the building, I go straight to the zip. Pretty much I just go floor to floor doing recon. So I will crack this Wraith and she's on white armor, so obviously I have to push. And you push in situations like that because I have the huge health advantage. And of course I don't see her teammate anywhere, so I'm assuming that she doesn't have one right now. Or their teammate is nowhere near, so I have a window to fight this 1v1. And that's what good players will do. We always try to fight within the window of opportunity that we're given. As soon as that window closes, more often than not, you'll have to disengage or retreat. So upon exiting this building, you'll see that I have 1100 damage. Very good spot to drop a 4K. Once you clear out the building that you land at, it's just pushing the closest fight next to you. I have this Valkyrie very weak, and for whatever reason, she re-peeks me and it throws me off a bit. At the same time, I have her teammate shooting me on my far right. So I know I can't leave this cover that I'm sitting behind right now, or else I'll expose myself too much and probably die. As always, I fight within my window of opportunity. Her teammate has no line of sight of me, she's too far to push me, so I kill this Valkyrie. And then I focus on a 1v1. I choose to heal right here so I can get healthy enough to fight her. Then she throws a grenade at me to flush me out of my cover. It's smart. So I'm forced to throw a micro bracelet to avoid taking any damage. What that Wraith wants me to do is run out in the open so she could beam me. And I know that, so I choose the bracelet out to cover instead. I get mad at my teammate right here because the Wraith is clearly swinging that angle on the Valkyrie. And I'm not healthy enough to do anything about it. If my teammate goes down right here, then it makes it hard for me because I haven't done enough damage to the Wraith. And I have no big heals. Finally, I'm able to crack her though, but I'm still very weak and so is my teammate. It kind of got over the fight. She tried her best to get one of us knocked and she couldn't. She was doing what I do and try to fight within the window. The window closed, so she retreated. As a good player, I understand what she's doing. As she's running away, we also get third partied. So I'm just going to chase down this Wraith. Create more distance between me and the third party and hopefully finish off the Wraith so I can loot her because I have nothing. Although it was an ugly fight, I ended up winning still because I played it smartly. Now that I killed her and I looted up, I'm just worried about what the hell my teammate is doing. This third party gets super aggressive on me. I have no heals. I'm gonna retreat to a high ground position to give me an advantage. It'll be at that point I decide to fight or I decide to grab banners. You'll see that I have no angles on the enemy, so I can't do any damage to prevent their push or to get a knock. I don't have any big heals. Of course, I'm just going to run away and grab my teammate's banner and force them to continue pushing me if that's what they decide to do. Again, I always go to a position of high ground to give me the upper hand. Pretty much, I'm just waiting to see if that team's going to end up pushing me. So I hold the angle of where they're going to come from. And again, I'm trying to get a knock to even out a 1v1. Once I do get the knock on the Bloodhound, I hear a Valkyrie fly up behind me, and I also hear a team shooting that team that I just knocked behind them on the far side of the bridge. Valkyrie already has a jump on me. She's already flying up, so I gotta back up. I mainly back up because I have no clue what the hell is going on, and I don't know how many teams are here. So I disengage to re-engage to ultimately analyze what the hell is going on. Once I figure that out, I'm back in the fight. That right there is the key to dropping a 4K. The damage will come if you play it smart enough. You have to fight within your window. If you're taking stupid fights all the damn time, you're gonna die. And obviously not be able to drop a 4K because you're dying. So retreating when you have to is necessary to drop in a 4K game because you obviously survive longer and therefore have more opportunities for damage. When I'm in a situation like this, I pay attention to the obituary in the top right. That's what the kill feed is called. I see a guy named Dizzy kill somebody, and I remember that Dizzy was the guy that I knocked immediately in the beginning, that Bloodhound. Right now, I know that Bloodhound and Wraith are still alive. I think it's a Wraith, so I push. I see Dizzy get knocked. That's now one knock on each team. So now, including me, it's a 1v1v1. I'm taking that all day. I'm in there. Again, I stay on high ground to figure out what's going on. I see a Wraith chow out, so I crack her and push her back and delay her. She has to run away now. Now I could take this 1v1 inside the building. Sometimes you have to create your own windows to fight within, and that's exactly what I did. I play that absolutely perfectly, and then, of course, I thirst the knock guy because it adds damage to my game. And now I'm in an ultimate 1v1 with the Wraith. I'm not going to go run around and try to find her. I'm going to wait till she comes back because I know she'll come back. So as I wait, she finally pushes out, and I'm almost able to crack her, but I miss a lot of shots. Either way, I have the health advantage, so I'm going to ape her, especially because it's a 1v1. You see how simple you can make this game if you actually think about what's going on and you're not just blindly playing the game unconsciously. Think about the consequences of every push that you make and that the enemy makes. Figure out a game plan beforehand. Figure out escape plans. If you could do things like that and build up your IQ that way, 4K games are the easiest thing in the world. It's not as simple as just point and shoot. A lot of thinking has to go on. So I obviously revive my teammate. He's not going to have anything. And I hear a third party nearby, so obviously I'm going to push that. Because as a solo, third parties are the best opportunity that you have. I'll hear a guy self-res nearby, so I'm just going to go kill him. Once I kill him, obviously the third party's looking for me now. So I back up so I can heal up, loot up, and then I'll eventually teleport to high ground. And again, I'm just trying to do enough damage so I can either ape somebody or knock somebody. You're going to hear me get extremely mad at my teammate. It's okay, I'm muted though. My teammate is showing you exactly what not to do in a situation like this. Don't just freaking run up to two enemies in the middle in a straight line, bro. You're gonna get clipped, and that's exactly what happens, and I get pissed because now it makes it harder for me. Because I could have the worst teammate of all time, and the enemy doesn't know that. If they see two people up on my team, they have to respect it. As soon as they knock a guy, you know they now have the advantage, so they're gonna try to get aggressive on me. So the storm's coming in on my back, so I'm just gonna brace it past them while they're distracted on my teammate, and then turn around and look for an angle on one of them. It would be at that same time that they actually get third party too, so fortunately I get saved. I sense that this third party is going to get very aggressive on me. That is why I choose to fall down and try to kill that Octane, to create more distance between me and the third party and allow me room to escape if need be. Eventually this Ashe is going to portal right onto me. I'm going to poop on her immediately, then I mess my strafe and my shot up because of the uneven ground terrain. So I just have to run away at that point since I have none of my weapons reloaded. And then again, disengage to re-engage, so I fall back. Now that I killed that Ashe, it is a 1v1v1 right now. And you're going to see how weird these guys play, and it makes it extremely difficult for me because I'm the only one trying to initiate the fight. If I didn't initiate a fight, this circle is going down to the end game. I can't stand games like that. But I do what I can to try to take a 1v1 with each person, knowing that as soon as I engage with one, I'm going to get third party immediately. I have to play it semi-safe. Circle comes in, Octane jumps to high ground. I don't know where the Bloodhound is, but the high ground that the Octane jumped onto is not in circle, so I know I have to beat him to the next building in circle, because I know that's where he's trying to go. I do turn around and see a Bloodhound, and then I turn around again, and Octane's right in my face. I take shots and then brace it to the building.
Recharging shields.
Bro!
Tossing jump drive. Recharging my shields. Hold on, I need to heal.
Round 5, beginning ring countdown.
Let's do some
And again, I'm just playing it slow, healing up, and then trying to take another 1v1. I hit this Octane for 60 flesh. I have about 100 flesh. I have the health advantage. I'm going to reach out. Fortunately for him, he's got the stupid ass AC vent right in front of him. So I can't kill him. Instead, I'm just going to heal up. That's mainly because he was already mid-bat, and I don't know where the Bloodhound is, so I have to heal up. Finally killed the Octane, and I have over 4,000 damage now. I'm done with the game. You know, the Bloodhound's going to be third partying me. And the biggest threat is always behind you, so that's where I immediately look. That's where most people are going to push from. And I turn on him, and I almost one-clip him. I clean it up, and that's the end of the game. Another 4K drop by yours truly. Remember, I don't tell you guys things so it automatically makes you drop a 4K game. I tell you certain play styles and tips so that you can implement them into your own gameplay and therefore drop more 4K games. Because that is truly how you grow at the end of the day. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bam, ba, bam, bam, bam. Bam, ba, bam, 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 ba, 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 bam, bam, ba, bam, bam, bam. Bam, ba, bam, 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 ba, ba, bam, bam, ba, bam, bam, bam. Bam, ba, bam, 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 ba, 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 bam,